Hello and welcome back to the Conversation Is podcast. I'm Charlie Pitson and with me is Joshy Boy and Anson.
Ew. What's up?
What are we doing this week?
We're doing Batman Begins.
So, Batman Begins, this is going to be the first of we're going to do all three very, very quickly every other week from now, just because, it's one of the best, comic book trilogies ever, really, isn't it?
It is.
It's the most consistent, so...
And the more DCU films that come out, the more I love this trilogy.
Yeah.
Just purely because I feel like this was the last time that a director or anybody really understood how to do a DC film.
Yeah.
Or how to, do DC characters. Because, actually... I haven't seen Wonder Woman yet. Apparently Wonder Woman's quite good. I do want to watch that at some point.
I haven't seen Wonder Woman either. I haven't seen much of those DC films. I think Shazam and Aquaman and
I've seen Shazam now because Shazam's on Sky. So
Shazam was good. Shazam. Aquaman was alright.
I didn't go to see Aquaman.
I saw that in the cinema. It was okay. Some of the CGI was pretty good for the underwater stuff, but I didn't like how they went with it. It felt like what they were doing was they were setting up more villains, like Black Mantis. Is that the
Black Manta?
Yeah, Black Manta. Well, I thought Mantis, Guardians of the Galaxy, but they set up Black Manta, and he's gonna come back. And then they had his brother or half brother, King Oran. I don't know much about Aquaman because when we were growing up, he was like the.
He was a joke.
You and your friends would hang out and you're like, oh, let's do the Justice League. And now
it's Jason Momoa playing.
No one wanted to play fucking Aquaman at all.
Right. Brilliant.
He's good casting for it as well. That was brilliant. But yeah, no, I don't think anything could qualify.
I'm very conflicted because I haven't seen Aquaman. Because I want to see it because of Jason Momoa, but I also don't want to see it because of Amber Heard.
I was going to say I don't want to watch it because it's Aquaman.
We're not going to get
Aquaman's a pussy. No, we're not going to get into that today. Can't be bothered into that rabbit hole.
Yeah. But we're going to stay true to Nolan because this is the first Nolan film we've done as well.
He's very muddy in this opening scene.
Yeah,
he's a dirty boy.
I think it's how he's done the story of this one was really good. I just don't know. I don't find the casting of Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul that. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense for me.
I think Liam Neeson's sick as fuck.
Also,
it's because is he doing an Irish accent?
Also,
he's doing his accent.
Someone needs to definitively tell everybody how it's pronounced because in this film it's Ra's al Ghul. It's
Ra's al Ghul, isn't it?
In about a million other things, it's Ra's al Ghul, but it's also Ra's al Ghul in other big ones as well. So it doesn't really. I don't know really where to go.
It's honestly
with it.
Just continuity. It's nothing to do with it's just people not knowing how to read it. That's it. 100%.
No, because I always thought it was Ra's al Ghul, and then I found out that it was Raish.
Yeah.
Or someone told me it was.
Yeah.
I watched a couple because it was Raish in Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Raish in the games as well.
Yeah.
It's like Voldemort. Did you watch that thing the other day where she said about Voldemort? You don't pronounce the T.
So it's just Voldemort.
Yeah.
Who said that? J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. She said that. She says it like that.
Why? Why wouldn't you pronounce the T?
I think it was supposed to sound French and
T
cool.
is silent.
So if the T is silent, then his name's not Tom Riddle, it's Om Riddle.
No, the T is silent. It's just silent in Voldemort.
No,
Voldemort.
but Tom Riddle being jumbled back up again as I am Lord Voldemort.
Yeah, I know. There's still a T there. You just done Yuri.
Yeah, so it's Om Riddle.
Okay, you don't say Tom Riddle.
No, but if it's silent in Voldemort, then it's silent in his
That's
human
the
name.
stupidest thing you've ever said.
So he's Om Riddle.
No, because he can flip it, and he's like, okay,
that's
so
the
that was
stupidest thing you've ever said. Because, all right, listen, hear me out now.
Listen, if J.K. Rowling can retcon absolutely everything, then that's fine. I'll retcon it for her as well. He's Om Riddle. From now on.
It's like saying that you can't call him Voldemort. It's just a letter. It's just a letter, bro. Fuck you.
But it's specific to what I'm saying is Tom Riddle is Voldemort.
Yeah.
Tom Marvolo Riddle is an anagram for I am Lord Voldemort. We know that because we watched Chamber of
all
Secrets,
of them the other day.
Last week.
That is so weird.
10 films we watched in a week.
What I was saying is the T that is being used in I am Lord Voldemort.
Yeah.
Is
that
T
from Tom. Is from the Tom. So it's Om Riddle.
Om Riddle.
Nah. Nah, because you just rearrange the letters. They don't have to sound the same.
Nope. It's on riddle.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, right. So we're gonna.
I don't even fucking like you guys.
Do you know what?
Batman Begins. Come on.
He has a very well kept beard for the fact that he's been like walking around in this random. But where is he at the moment? I can't remember.
I have no idea. I never have any clue when he gets to this point. Like, it's such a weird film, though, isn't it? The way it starts compared to other.
It's
kind
really
of
weird,
superhero
yeah,
films.
because it takes a while to get to Batman, doesn't it? But I do think you're right about Liam Neeson being.
It just doesn't
Ra's
feel
al Ghul.
right.
It's a
There's
bit-
something about it.
Mm.
Like, he's definitely doing his normal accent.
It was
and
like-
it just throws me off.
It's like what's his name playing the ancient one? What's her name?
What's his name?
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton. Yeah, Tilda Swinton.
That's the one.
That was great, though.
She was pretty good, and don't get me wrong, she's very good for the. I mean, like.
No, I think the
After we
difference for me,
saw
the
him-
difference
saw
compared to
it.
that is what they did was they changed the character kind of completely. But with this, he's playing Ra's al Ghul. Like, it's just the name and the accent don't kind of fit together. It's like you don't have any Irishman called Ra's al Ghul, do you?
Wait, isn't he like not just one person?
No, I think it is one guy.
Yeah.
Ra's
I
al
thought,
Ghul.
I thought there was more than one person. Like,
But he's played by. Who's he played by in Gotham? It's really going to annoy me now.
so I thought it was like, what's it called? I am Negan. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's not like that.
No, nothing
That was
like
the
that.
vibe I got.
No, because his daughter's in this, and Dark Knight Rises, right?
Whose daughter?
Yeah,
It's just- it is his daughter.
Talia al Ghul's in Dark Knight
Yeah.
Rises.
Oh,
Spoilers.
right. I thought you meant like IRL daughters then.
No.
It's great. I do think it's great though because they don't really. Actually, I don't know. I feel like one weakness about the way they portray Ra's al Ghul in these films is that they don't really go into much of his backstory.
I think it's
There's
because what they do is I think like this film for me is my favorite one out of the trilogy.
Yeah,
And that's solely because I just like Scarecrow, Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy,
But then
very
the one thing I hate about this film is the whole Ra's al Ghul part.
I
don't think it's that bad, and I think it's. I was gonna say that
It bugs me. It's like because Dark Knight nailed the kind of two villains.
Yeah,
It did it right. You know, it cemented Joker as the main villain throughout the film, and then they made Harvey Dent into Two-Face.
yeah.
That worked. With this, it starts off with like, you know, the whole Ra's al Ghul. He's in the temple. I don't know what the temple's called.
I'll tell you what did annoy me about Two-Face is the fact that he died.
Yeah,
The fact that Harvey Dent dies at the end of Dark Knight.
but
is a bit annoying.
because Nolan knew it was just gonna be a trilogy, and it wasn't setting up for sequels and sequels and
Yeah.
sequels and sequels and sequels.
Oh, but I
and
mean, he could have
sequels.
been in another film after that. You know what I mean? He
Um,
could have been in the third film.
He didn't. He would plan to put the Joker in the third film. Obviously, you know, Heath Ledger passed away in 2008, so that couldn't have happened. Yeah.
pussy.
Didn't he die in the film as well?
He didn't die. No, he was left like hanging upside down for the police to get him,
Oh, he was. Yeah,
like laughing and stuff. Yeah, I like the whole Harvey Dent thing. That was done really well.
yeah, it was. But I like I said, I do think I should. I don't think we should have seen him in the third. Do you know what? We have to mention Michael Caine
Can anyone do the
as
accent?
Alfred. I could give it a go.
He was going to do
Only
it.
because I'm English. Michael
Michael
Caine.
He sounded like Trey Parker doing
What you
that.
have to do, Master Bruce, is
No, the one thing, like, that's good. Like, this is the first of the like many collaborations. Is it the first film he does with Michael Caine, Nolan? Like, he's done like every
what
film.
else did you do with Michael Caine?
He's in Interstellar. He's gonna be in. Was he in Dunkirk? I don't think he was in
haven't
Dunkirk.
Oh
seen
my
Dunkirk.
god, he was in Interstellar.
Wait, didn't he do the voiceover for Dunkirk? Did he do voiceover?
I don't think it was. I haven't seen Dunkirk.
I
So I can't really
honestly,
say.
I haven't seen it either, but I
I
just
still haven't seen
vaguely
that.
remember someone saying that he spoke in it, and that was it.
I know he's gonna be in Tenet, the new film with John David Washington and.
Oh, is it on
Robert
Tenet?
Pattinson. Tenet.
It's a joke.
Because apparently, what he said, he had no idea what the film's about. Like he has no clue what the new Nolan film's about, but he's in it. Because obviously he has this kind of like
you know what? As
over
long
the
as-
top like
As long as you're getting paid, that's the important thing.
there's three kind of key ingredients to a Nolan film. There's some sort of time essence of it, something to do with love, and someone's wife dying. Every single one of his
my
films,
God.
like a wife is either dies, or is dead. There's time involved, or the story is about love, like the character towards the end, like they get that they get the goal, they win the story or whatever, just because of the power of love.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not. I'm not saying that's true. It's just what the internet and everyone just like the 3 key ingredients to making a really good Nolan film. And there's also the whole thing about Shutter Island being Christopher Nolan film. So far, someone changed the Wikipedia page to say directed by Christopher Nolan, and it was there for like a few days. Just that,
you showed me that. Yeah. Do you know what? I've got a question. Out of all of the live action interpretations of the Wayne's deaths, where do you think this ranks?
I think the Joker is number 1.
Oh, you really think Joker's number 1?
No, he's trolling us. He's
I'm kidding.
Nah.
It doesn't need to be there.
I'd go as far as say this one.
well, like top.
Yeah.
Nah, the animated
sure.
series is better. Or are we talking live action?
Ooh,
He did say live
I did
action,
say
not
live
to-
action. However, the animated series,
Animated series. is
it would
sick as
be a crime not to include that on
fuck.
there
Wait,
because
wait,
that's
wait,
quite, was
wait,
quite
wait.
good.
Who's this gun guy? What's?
He's the guy who kills him.
No, I know that. No, I mean who's playing him? He's super familiar.
I was just gonna say as well. The
Oh
guy,
my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Is he in Knights of Sidonia?
Right, you cannot believe this. So Richard Brake plays.
I was gonna
what's
say
the
I
killer? What's
recognise him now. Now that I've seen him on your laptop.
He plays Joe Chill. The guy who kills the Waynes.
Yeah,
He
well,
was
yeah.
the Night King.
Yeah, I thought so.
Fuck.
Only in the 5th season of Game of Thrones.
Have a scroll. See if he was in the Knights of Sidonia
4th
music
and 5th.
video.
If he actually is, this will be hilarious.
He is. He
Yeah.
plays the role.
He is. I knew it.
He plays
I knew it.
the role of Sheriff Baron Klaus Rottenham. What a name!
I
What a
fucking
name.
know.
I mean, fair play. Okay, that's kind of weird. I don't know. I knew there was like 3 castings of the White Night King, but I didn't know it was him. But that's weird.
I've just found out who played Ra's al Ghul in Gotham as well. It was Alexander Siddig, the one who played
The Martell, yeah.
Dora Martell, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's a good casting
It was
choice.
he was pretty good as well.
That's a waste as well.
He was only in like a season and a half. He was really good.
I mean, I know we've done like our Joker kind of list of who our favorite Joker is and whatnot. Batman.
Who's my favorite Batman?
Who's your favorite Batman? And but the thing is, with this, we have to do favorite Batman, favorite Bruce Wayne, because they are different characters. They're completely different characters. Like, you got Tony Stark, Iron Man, it's still Tony Stark.
Yeah.
But Batman and Bruce Wayne are completely different entities, but like they're the same person.
I think Christian Bale does Bruce Wayne very well.
I think he does. I think he is my favorite Bruce Wayne. By far.
Although actually no. Now that I'm thinking about, I know I'm gonna keep talking about Gotham, but in terms of Bruce Wayne's, especially in the later seasons,
But I'm thinking more Bruce Wayne and he's Batman at the same time.
I think there's an easy answer to this, and you guys are gonna kick yourselves for not thinking of it.
Yeah.
The best person that played both of them.
we're not doing Ben Affleck. It's not him.
No, he's
No,
gonna, he's
doing
gonna
Adam West.
Adam West.
Adam West was so good. You can shut the fuck up if you disagree.
I thought you were gonna say George Clooney.
George
with
Clooney.
the bat
Oh my
nipples.
god, he is so good
That
though.
nipples.
He is so good.
Have you watched
love
those
the
Joel
George Clooney
Schumacher
Batman.
films?
Yeah.
You've seen them all.
Oh yeah.
Can we watch him
I was
again?
I
Let's
was
watch him
I was
again.
the
Yes, we should
I
do
was
that.
the biggest Batman fan when I was younger.
Yeah.
I had like 3 Batman.
Where do you rank?
pajamas,
What's your ranking? Like Batman 1989 or Batman Returns? There's only one answer.
I'm gonna go with anyone that had George Clooney in it.
That was Batman. Robin.
I can't remember which one's
I
specific.
don't care.
Which one's
So Batman had the Joker.
which one's
and
the
then
one with
Batman Returns
with-
had Catwoman and Penguin.
I think Batman Returns is probably.
It's just darker, and it
It's
doesn't make
really
it better.
weird,
It
yeah.
doesn't make it better, but
Do you know what I enjoyed when I was younger though? I admit that they're bad films, but like
Don't you fucking dare say the George Clooney ones are shit? Cause
no, they're not. I like.
I love them.
It's over the top. Batman Forever was pretty good.
Enjoy them.
Batman Forever's the one with
Riddler.
Arnie.
No, but Arnie and Uma Thurman are in Batman and Robin.
I did like Batman and Robin. I thought I was cool. Are you sure?
Yes, Batman Forever is Jim Carrey's the Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones
Yeah,
is Harvey Dent.
yeah. Tommy Lee Jones and
It's the weirdest
Jim-
role I've ever
Tommy
seen
Lee
him play.
Jones and Jim Carrey as the villains. You should like. I can't believe it was so
Jim
shit.
Carrey was good, right?
I cannot believe
But
it was so
I've seen
shit.
a thing about Tommy Lee Jones was an absolute prick to him.
Yeah, he
Doing
was.
that.
Yeah, I read that as well.
But,
But
like-
apparently he was annoyed that he kept like quoting, I think it's something like prancing about, and he wasn't professional enough. I'm like, dude, you're in Batman and Robin. You're all
Yeah.
in rubber suits and shit. Like,
And
calm
it's
the fuck
Jim
down.
Carrey. Like, come on.
The only problem with Jim Carrey's Riddler was
It was too good.
It
I
was-
get you.
he was too Jim Carrey, funny-ish, like just
Yeah.
faffing about.
He was pretty good. However,
I couldn't imagine him being like a kind of like, well, you know, self-genius as Enigma calls himself. You know, he thinks he's a genius. He's not. He's
Yeah.
smart, but he's not fucking genius level smart.
but again,
He didn't really nail that kind of side of him. So it's like, you know, you kind of have to. I think Paul Dano was going to do a really good job in the Batman as well.
but again, like I said before, Gotham. What was his name? Corey Michael Smith. Is that his name?
Cormac Smith. He was. Yeah, he was.
He
pretty-
was. He was my favorite.
I would
character on
buy.
the
I
show.
could buy him as being the Riddler. Yeah,
He was
yeah.
my favorite character on the show
Yeah.
by a distance. He was so good. Like all of his stuff where he was like, you know, talking to himself and had like visions of like, you know, talking to the Riddler in like the mirror and shit like that. That was
Yeah.
cool as fuck. Like
I haven't seen much of that, but I've seen some of his Riddler scenes, and
his Riddler scenes are really good.
he nailed it. He's creepy enough.
Yeah.
He's really creepy, and
But he's
and
also you also feel for him as well.
he
though,
kind of
like,
looks
you know-
like what I imagine the Riddler to look like as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm excited for Paul Dano because, you know, if you've seen well, There Will Be Blood, you know that kid can fucking
Paul
act.
Dano,
Like,
yeah.
I say kid, he's way older than me, but you know what I mean. Yeah, favorite Bruce Wayne.
Favorite Bruce Wayne. So what you're saying is it's a cop out for me to say what's his name from Gotham.
Yeah, you can't really say. I mean,
Although
fuck it,
in
just-
later seasons he does start to do a lot of vigilante shit. There is a point where he is told by Alfred to start acting like a spoiled little brat, and that's when he gets really good.
yeah,
There's a time where like where he has to act like a douchebag and like bid on something. I think it was Ra's al Ghul's dagger
yeah.
is up for auction or something, and he has to bid on it, and he has to, you know, like, and he's just sat there the entire time. He's just like, $200,000. I'm rich, ha ha.
Yeah.
Doing all of that the entire time.
I like
It's
the
fucking
interpretation of
hilarious.
Gotham like that way, but like if that went as far as say they did like a kind of spin-off show where they have someone else playing an older Batman,
Yeah,
everyone else comes back. Well, like a majority of the cast comes back. Obviously,
he's quite old now.
Donald
man.
Logue won't be able to come back because they'll have to
Donald,
change
Donald
some of
Logue
the.
was very good.
But like it's a different interpretation because it's an even younger Bruce Wayne. Is no Batman, but if he was Batman, they would fucking know it was Bruce Wayne in that timeline because
Yeah.
he's done if he's done as much stuff as you said, like even that, like
Yeah.
that would kind of make you
It
think.
got
Especially with it, you know, he's friends with isn't he friends with Catwoman and Poison Ivy in the show, or is Poison Ivy?
he's friends with
Selena Kyle, right?
he's friends with Selena Kyle quite a lot of the time.
Like she would know he's Batman.
Ivy starts off young, but she gets spoilers. Her age gets accelerated, and she ends up like she's like fucking 25, 30 years old by the end of the series, whereas the other two are still like
17.
17.
18
yeah.
push, yeah. So
Whereas-
you're gonna go with Gotham.
I can't remember what his name is. It's really going to annoy me now.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Kristen Bale, and it's only so much in Dark Knight onwards that I like him as Bruce Wayne.
I think for Batman, it's definitely going to be Christian Bale for me because he's
Batman.
absolutely.
Oh man, he's like he's probably one of the
I feel
worst
like
Batman ever.
I feel like he's great.
What do you think? Who's your favorite Bruce Wayne?
As in live action, he's pretty good.
Favorite Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, who plays Bruce Wayne? Do you think?
Oh, not
It's
Bruce
Adam
Wayne. No,
West.
I'm not talking.
My favorite is Adam West. Full stop. I'm not even joking. I love him.
What about Batman?
No, I swear to God,
So
Adam
both.
West is the best for both. Swear to God, I loved watching that. Me and my mum used to watch it on ITV4 every day. Sick as fuck.
Did you watch the film as well?
Man, I had the fucking film on VHS, bro. That motherfucker.
What do you think about
was
Christian Bale's Batman though? Like not his Bruce Wayne, but his Batman.
Yes, alright. I mean, like,
I'm not a big fan of the voice
yeah, he does get.
and what
I
he
think
does
it's-
with his mouth as well. It's just
I think
weird.
it's hilarious. It's
I've
great.
seen so many parodies of it where I really can't take it seriously.
I think
I think Ben Affleck minus like the whole killing crap and what Zack Snyder did with his like Batman.
I thought that was really cool.
His
though.
Batman voice and kind of his like massive armor he nailed the Batman voice for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gutted he's not, but I'm excited for Rob Pattinson now. I want to hear what his Batman voice is
yeah,
like.
I'm just not convinced.
You're
I
not
have to
convinced?
say. I'm not convinced. Until I see him in the film, I don't know.
I want to say, like,
It's a Slutty Pumpkin.
it's Katie Holmes.
Yeah, Slutty Pumpkin.
You're going to call it... So I have some information, and I don't know how reputable it is, but it's about the Batman.
Oh, I
the Matt
wanted to
Reeves
hear
film.
this, yeah.
Okay, so it's you've heard obviously it's gonna be like more like detective, kind of like what Batman's character was originally in like the old comics.
Detective comics.
That's gonna be
DC.
interesting. It's gonna be more of like a crime thriller than a superhero film. I'm excited for that.
Which is what it should be.
Which is what it should be. It should definitely be like.
It should have always been like that. I think the problem that we had with Batman versus Superman being the first time we saw Batflick, was the problem that he's not meant to be like this guy who can fight aliens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they ruined. Before we go on to this, I just want to say that I think they ruined Batman's kind of how they ruined Batman because they wanted to rush that DCEU so they can get to the Avengers really quickly. But
they wanted to cash in on what was popular at the time, and that was
why
the
would
Avengers.
Batman's first appearance be Batman v Superman?
I know
that's so
stupid.
ridiculous.
So stupid.
That should have been the kind of that shouldn't even happened yet. That could have been more of a pre-Justice League, but like way later down the line. They should have waited a few years for that.
Especially because they did it. Right, they put Batman and Superman in a film together straight away. That was Batman's first film.
Yeah,
but they also still decided to do all of the fucking stuff that we'd seen before with Bruce Wayne's parents dying. Yeah. So,
I mean, they did that,
just wasted
and then
time.
they spent most of the film building up Justice League.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you didn't need that. You did not need that. It was a convoluted mess, and we're gonna I think.
But I think the DCU
it's not a shit film. It's just it doesn't know what it wants to be.
They're gonna have to do some crazy shit to get the DCU back on track now because it's a complete mess. Like you said, that Robert Pattinson's now Batman.
Yeah,
but we've also got Ezra Miller is definitely still the Flash.
Yeah, he hasn't been
because
he hasn't been fired from that yet.
He hasn't been fired from it. He hasn't been retconned out of existence because
they were going to use Flashpoint when they
he appeared in he literally appeared in the Flash TV show like a month ago.
Yeah.
So he's not gone. So we got a lot of inconsistencies because the actor for Batman's changing. Flash is staying. We don't know really what's going to happen with Superman now.
I imagine
there's not any news.
I imagine what's going to happen is it'll be Rob Pattinson Batman. Ezra Miller maybe will stay as the Flash. We'll see how the whole situation with that
also
fan and
all the
stuff
Suicide Squad stuff and the Birds of Prey and shit like that.
Suicide Squad is kind of being retconned by James Gunn.
Good.
And we know he's going to keep. Come on. I mean,
awful film.
I trust him so much to do that. Like, I think a few casting members are actually going to stay. I think Joel Kinnaman's going to stay. Jai Courtney staying, and Margot Robbie. So that's what's his name? Rick. Is it Rick Dags or something like that? I don't know any. I'm not a DC kind of like.
And then there was I don't know who you're talking, but there's also the whole what's happening with Joker now. Who's going to play the Joker? If there's going to be a Joker in the DCU,
I think
who's going to play him?
They don't need a Joker for a long time.
They don't. But
I don't want to see Joker. Let other people get the Batman Rose Gallery out. Get some other.
I'm so glad that the Riddler's going to be in the film. So, I really hope they do it well.
Let's get back on track with that. So apparently, as reported, we don't know if this is real, but I mean, come on, we'll sit with it. Apparently, it takes place in present day.
Okay.
That could be 2020, 2021. I don't know how they're doing it. And during Batman's second year of being active, Bruce Wayne is still new to the job and makes a point not to kill. This is kind of like Frank Miller's year one, but like year two. He's a playboy who's spending the Wayne fortune all over kind of thing. So basically, the basic plot is this election year in Gotham, and someone is killing off candidates to be mayor. Yeah, one by one, leaving riddles behind each murder. These riddles won't make it hard for Batman fans to deduce obviously who's behind him. And obviously Paul Dano is playing the Riddler. So the Riddler is going to be the main villain because he's basically following all these crimes to be the Riddler. That is a good
because it's
story.
because
to play
it's not a massive fucking fight against Doomsday or some stupid shit
It's a crime film.
fighting against aliens and space monsters.
They should keep it grounded as well.
It's taking place in Gotham. It's going to be the Riddler. It's about, like you said, an election time, and crimes happening and people getting murdered, which always happens in Gotham.
Yeah.
That's just something that happens in Gotham. People get murdered, and that's why Batman's there.
So apparently
He's a
it's going to borrow a bit from like Sherlock Holmes type of like films, not like the Robert Downey Jr. ones, but like Sherlock Holmes as a character.
Yeah.
And how he obviously like his John Watson is going to be Commissioner Gordon.
Mm-hmm. Is it
but,
still?
But he will be He'll be a captain, not the commissioner.
Will it still be J.K. Simmons playing?
No, it's Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. Oh.
Yeah, they got rid of that.
Yeah. Okay.
I
was thinking
and obviously
because
they
he
work
was in it.
together to kind of solve the Riddler.
Yeah.
And then obviously that gives you, they can introduce a bit more stuff. So we got John Turturro's playing Carmine Falcone, which is going to be fucking great because John Turturro is an excellent actor.
He's very good, but like I feel like Falcone has always been quite fat to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one thing I want to say, right, to anyone who watches any superhero films or anything based on kind of literature or anything that exists, just stop thinking about what what it looks like. These are different interpretations. There's been millions of interpretations of comic books over the years.
Yeah, that's fine. But I've never seen John Turturro as someone who could be threatening. If I'm being honest.
Oh boy,
do you know what I remember John Turturro from, and will always stick in my mind?
Yeah,
the Transformers films. So that's why I will never see him as
that's fair, man. I see him from like Bart and Fink and Oh Brother Art, all the Coen brothers. Big Lebowski's, Jesus, dude, he's
Oh yeah, but that's what I mean. But he's a very good actor. I just don't know if I'd see him. But then again, I said the same thing about Robert Pattinson, and I still don't know how that's going to happen. Like,
yeah, I think a lot of people do forget though that actors are actors, and
of course, yeah.
Typecasting people. I mean,
of course, yeah, but
like as people said the same thing about Christian Bale, dude. And I think the reason he nails Bruce Wayne so well is that he kind of played this kind of playboy, kind of rich guy in American Psycho. So he took those elements from that and applied them to Bruce Wayne, but obviously, not the whole, murdering people and, all that kind of shit. So I think that's why it works for me. But you got to give him a chance. I mean, this looks good. And I trust Matt Reeves to do a good job as well. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got Zoe Kravitz plays Selena Kyle.
I like that. That's good.
Still going to be more of like an anti-hero looking out for herself kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Colin Farrell, might be the controversial one, but this is going to work in his favour so well if it actually is what it's going to be. Colin Farrell plays a character named Oz, likely short for Oswald Cobblepot. And he's been confirmed already as the Penguin. However, he's actually written as a good guy who's also in the running for mayor and trying to avoid being murdered. And I got a feeling that they're going to do maybe so much as a kind of like a Dark Knight. So like they'll set up him as Oswald Cobblepot running for mayor, and then they'll turn him villainous towards the end. Maybe he has to do something to kind of like something will happen towards the end of the story, which will kind of set him to be the Penguin. Is kind of
yeah. Similar to how they kind of built Harvey Dent up.
Yeah, but they might not kill him off. Yeah,
but
if they kill him off. I mean, there's millions of fucking villains to sort of. There's not millions, but
the Penguin. Do you know what it is with with Batman villains, right? And this is someone, like I said, I've been a massive Batman fan my entire life. Yeah. I hate the fact that the Joker is the only Batman villain who seems to get any screen time. He's the only one who we're not going to see a Riddler film anytime soon. We're not going to see a Penguin film anytime soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Joker gets way too much all the time.
He's not even the best.
So
villain.
I'm glad that there's going to be other characters being portrayed. I do want Colin Farrell was Penguin. Do you know what? Danny DeVito was a good casting.
I mean, Ansel, what do you think about like?
I'm really sorry. I found a really funny thing about Elijah Wood messaged a girl on Animal Crossing and said, "Can I have some turnips?" and went to buy some turnips.
Fair play.
It's just
that's
really
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, isn't it?
Anyway, what was so Paul Dano's playing Riddler.
I'm not going to put any of this in because obviously I'll look fucking ridiculous if I put it on and it's like
you just cut the bit where you ask me. Just cut the bit where you ask me.
Paul Dano's playing the Riddler. Zoe Kravitz is playing Catwoman. Colin Farrell's playing probably the Penguin, but probably just be Oswald Cobblepot most of the film.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright is playing Captain James Gordon, not Commissioner.
All right. Can I say something controversial then?
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
How about we just sack off Batman for a good couple of years? Let's leave it.
It's not going to happen.
Stop flogging a dead fucking horse.
It's not dead though.
It's
not.
like it's just like
It's just being
there
done
are plenty
incorrectly.
of people you could do. There are plenty of films that could be made, but instead they keep doing Batman. I really like Batman, but it's the same with Spider-Man. I don't want to see a Spider-Man.
He's got a point.
He does
mind.
have a point, but I think it's the fact that
that's why the MCU works so well. They brought Iron Man in, and he was like, he wasn't as big as he is now, you know, as a character.
I think the thing with Batman is they have to start making some new stuff. You know what I mean? They've done well. Like Spider-Man's been done well because there's actually some new. There's new life being breathed into it. After Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, we didn't really know what was going to happen with Spider-Man after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they were awful films. So I think all it needs is one good interpretation that will change everything.
Yeah.
And it needs to be something new. And it's by the sounds of it, it's going in the right direction because we're getting the Penguin, we're getting Riddler, we're getting a crime film, a detective film, which is exactly what we want as a Batman film. We don't want, like I said before, we don't want Batman fighting aliens. We don't want him fighting these massive these divine beings. We want him fighting in Gotham against criminals.
I think what DC did their problem is that they rely too much on these kind of powerhouses and like these massive films to kind of these characters, and I think that's why Marvel films have worked recently because they're getting all these independent obscure directors who make their own film with these characters. You know what I mean? A Doctor Strange is a Scott Derrickson film to me. It's not it feels like one of his films.
Yeah.
I can't say the same about Iron Man because Jon Favreau doesn't really have that much of a style. I don't want to shut him. He's a great director, but he doesn't really have a distinct kind of style. I mean, you've got
Ragnarok.
Yeah, there's definitely vibes going on there.
Exactly.
You know, it's stuff like that. So when you got the Guardians films, they're very much James Gunn's films. He pours his heart and soul into that. You can feel it, right?
Yeah.
But there's never been done like this, and I think that the Batman will probably be
I'm
excited.
It needs to be a detective film, is essentially what
it's going to be a detective
because
film.
I feel like especially in the last 10 years, maybe 10, 15 years, or since these films came out, or since the Dark Knight Rises came out, and everyone got it out of their system and everything, and was like, Dark Knight trilogy is finished now, it's done.
And they came back
apart from the people who thought there was going to be a fourth
4
one.
years later,
but
with a new one.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man got away with it because they were introducing him into this universe, which is a completely different kind of take.
But we decided to do Batman v Superman. It's
it was the stupidest idea.
That was ugly.
But I feel like there'll be a lot of younger people now who see Batman as a joke because there's plenty of people who ask the question, what does Batman add to a team that it already includes Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman? These people who are literal gods. What does he add to the team? And it's because we haven't explored that in any films because we go straight to all of the alien killing. We've never explored it in apart from in this film.
Yeah.
Recently we haven't really explored Batman's roots and what he's good at. And why he's such an important character.
You see much more of his fighting style in this one, and kind of his He starts to get a bit cheeky, when he tricks.
But he's a master of hundreds of martial arts. He's a master detective. You know what I mean? He's a
we don't get to see.
Guy.
That's the thing we don't get to see in this. We don't get to see any training of being a master detective.
Yeah.
And I think
that's the one thing they could have improved in.
They need to play on that more.
But that's my point is that with Batman v Superman and Justice League, we didn't see any of that stuff because it's all concerned with him fighting.
He's old. They made
gods.
him. They made him the kind of old man Bruce without making it an old man Bruce.
Yeah, he's kind of just there.
He's just kind of middle-aged Bruce. I've been doing this for a while. Not sure how long. Somehow I kill people now, but
yeah, exactly.
We don't talk about that apart from all the fans on the earth. Fuck.
Yeah.
I know
mean,
he's a tricky character to do, but he's not.
I think there's a lot of stories, especially a lot of comic stories that could be brought to the big screen that would, if they were to be done well, it would be amazing.
Like what?
Killing Joke would be one that would be really good to do.
Well, they've done an interpretation of Killing Joke, so we don't see that, which is Joker.
Yeah,
It's loosely. They didn't want to copy the story.
loosely, yeah, very loosely.
They're not going to do that ever.
I mean, they did it
Because when you think about it, right?
They did it in a film like
what people
3
need to
years ago,
realize
didn't
is that, directors and writers and comic writers, they're not going to do the same story that was done in a comic book because that story's already been told.
No, of course not. But they take, they take aspects of stories.
They'll take like little bits, but they'll want to do their own version of it, and I think that's what pisses off fans, and I think that's what makes the films better because it's like, comic book fans care too much about their stories, where it's like you're not going to get that story. You've got that story in a different medium. So why not let someone else have a go at something else?
I disagree. I think it's great. I think it's great to do your own interpretations. Like the MCU is a fantastic example of directors taking inspiration from the comics and making up stories and doing stuff like that. However, you do still have Civil War. You do still have Infinity War. A lot of the stories are based on stories that were in comics. I think it's more to do with respecting the source material.
What they did with those films is that they kind of took like the theme and kind of like the plot kind of structure, but completely changed it. I mean, Captain America should have died in Civil War if you're thinking of it that way. That pissed off a lot of people, and it's like, well, that's completely fine because we saw from Civil War, or we've seen from the MCU that there is a lot of respect for the source material. Yeah.
And there is a lot, there's a lot of, they may change quite a few things when they put it in, put it onto screen, and they want to do their own interpretation, but they still respect the source material.
Yeah.
With stuff like Batman versus Superman and Justice League, there is no respect for the source material, especially for Batman, because they just don't care.
Let's end this episode with some raw reviews, is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got Batman Begins isn't a terrible film. It simply isn't that good. Overly long, vaguely goofy in places, and straining for gravity and dignity. It's the dignity part that is hard.
That's a bit like, what's it? Not extra, but a bit.
That's a bit. Like I said,
it goes to the bone, I think.
First of all, I think it did well to only be slightly goofy, considering.
Right. I mean, could you like state its goofiness though? Like, where is it goofy?
I can't think of any specific places, but for me, is that something that doesn't really get done in the films too much is that Batman can be quite like campy and goofy.
I've never seen a campy version of Batman before.
You've never seen a campy version of Batman?
No, I'm kidding. I've never seen a campy.
Oh, right.
I was thinking more of like the whole. I wouldn't say it's like the characters, well, apart from George Clooney's interpretation, but I mean, fucking Forever and Batman and Robin.
But this is what I mean is up to this point,
the goofiest films ever.
They are very, very goofy films and very campy films, and I think it does well to kind of to ground it, to ground the film, but also slip a few cheeky.
It's a difficult character and kind of universe to ground.
Well, it's a man running around in a Batman suit.
I wouldn't even say it's that goofy. I don't think it's that goofy.
I don't think it is. But I think just because it's Batman and there are just some naturally goofy and.
Do you think some more like there's definitely some goofiness within how the villains react to getting nabbed, especially in the dock scene. Some of the. Like, I would say that's probably where the vague goofiness comes in.
It's great, isn't it? Like,
I haven't said shut up once to this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite. I mean,
which is a big thing because Anthony says shut up to a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Especially, was it the Harry Potter films? I was shut up.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
I mean, we'll disagree with that. I don't like that they said it's a terrible film. It's not even close to being a terrible film.
No,
it's not a perfect film. I
think it's definitely.
I'd say it's better than what most people could ever hope to achieve.
Especially,
I think you think about that.
Especially when you watch the all of the stuff that Batman's been in since,
Yeah.
It kind of.
I think the more and more I think about it, I think I might prefer The Dark Knight more. As a whole of a film.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best film of the trilogy, as in, like, in just as a whole, it's fucking spectacular. And also because the whole intro with with them stealing, and how they did the intro was amazing.
I think my order.
What a great introduction to the
my
Joker.
order for how good the films are. I mean, I know you disagree with me, but I'd go with Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight, Batman Begins. That's not saying Batman Begins is a bad film, because this is definitely one of my favorite films, of all time anyway. And I actually think if we were talking about not how, because obviously when I say how good the films are, I'd still, like I said, I'd put Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight, and then Batman Begins. In terms of which ones are my favorite, I'd go Dark Knight. So it'd just be the top two switched, really.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises.
I mean, I'd only say it just because Dark Knight felt like kind of he knew what he was doing within that film. Like the whole film itself is literally from start to finish an almost perfect film.
Masterpiece.
Batman Begins can be slodgy 90% of the time. The reason it's my favorite film, which is funny because I hate all the Ra's al Ghul stuff.
Yeah.
I just love all the Scarecrow stuff.
Scarecrow stuff is very good.
It's
yeah.
so good. Right?
Cillian Murphy's a very good.
And that's what makes it my favorite
yeah.
film, because he's my favorite villain
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Well, him, Scarecrow, and Mysterio. They're my favorite villains of all
Mysterio.
time.
Yeah, I get
Rey
Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio. He's the greatest villain of all time. Now, let's move on to another one and see if anyone else has got a, kind of...
Yeah, go on him.
Yeah, I've got, compared to the Flash's Superman, The Dark Knight was always more human and prone to brooding, but this film is way out of whack.
Is that Hannibal?
No, it's not from Hannibal.
Way out of whack.
Yes.
Whack.
You're writing movie reviews, and the thing
Someone's whack.
you end off your review.
It's not. Well, no. They said
out of whack.
but the film is way out of whack. I think they mean that he spends most of the time brooding about and fucking just kind of sopping about.
I get that,
Can
but
I
the
say
same,
something?
but at the same time, it's meant to be like that.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking is, if I'm having to have you explain to me what that person is trying to say in their review, I think it's a shit review. Because, I
mean, we usually do try to explain what they do.
I
'cause
know,
it's
but that one feels really weird.
that
You're
one-
having to defend their choice of the word whack.
Right, I'm gonna say we got. All right, so that one was just says a non-star, which is
So there's one that-
useless.
yeah, so
there's another one here that says Nolan takes an admirable stab at developing a character-driven drama, only to give it to generic action movie conventions with a blinding, deafening, explosion-laden finale that could have been capped off by any number of interchangeable Jerry Bruckheimer flicks.
And what I was going to say is, interestingly, I think those two reviews, I mean, even though one of them's only 2 words, I think those two reviews are complete opposites of each other.
Yeah.
One person is talking about how it's a slow burn and how it's good that there's, character development and that it's, it's driven by these characters.
Only says, no one just says that in 2 ways. It's non-starter.
Only for it to, to just be a film where there's loads of explosions and shit at the end, and, there's not really any kind of fulfilling finale. However, the other person says it's a non-starter because they want to get to the explosions and shit.
Yeah.
And they don't like all the character stuff.
I'm not saying the other one's wrong. I mean,
oh yeah,
well,
I think it's
they do take an admirable stab at the verb and all this kind of thing, but it does go from that to literal just a kind of just shit happening constantly.
Well, it's
and then the ending
yeah.
alone, man, it is a typical kind of superhero ending. The whole what do they call it? It's like a monorail, isn't it?
Yeah, and the one
the
that is,
monorail,
going
monorail.
towards the
Like a monorail.
Wayne Tower, yeah.
Monorail.
That's what they call it, right? And is it they call it monorail in this film?
I'm
or
pretty
is
sure,
it
yeah.
just a
Or
train?
it might just be the train.
Like the ones in Chicago and New York, where it's just like
And
above
Springfield.
and Springfield.
And North Haverbrook. Put them on the map.
No, I mean I get it
But
because
this is what I'm saying is that these two reviews are two sides of the two sides of the same coin. Is that one person loves all of the character stuff and hates all of the action stuff, whereas the other person just wants to get to the action and they don't really care about all the stuff that comes beforehand.
I think it's absolutely fucking ridiculous to watch a film made by someone like Christopher Nolan and just be all admirable.
before this he had done Following, Memento, and Insomnia. And then he did this, and then Prestige, and other, Dark Knight, and all the other
Shutter
ones.
Island.
Yeah, and he did Shutter Island. Yeah,
It was really weird that he hadn't done Inception, because I'm almost certain I've seen Inception before I've seen this.
Inception was 2010,
When did it come out?
2005.
I definitely seen Inception before I've seen this, which has just blown my fucking mind.
That's mental because you must have seen Dark Knight before that as well.
I did not see this while I was in school, and this came out while I was in school.
Yeah,
That's absolutely blown my mind.
That's wild.
that is mental. I mean,
don't
he,
even
you know,
remember
at
these
this
films
point,
happening.
when you think about it, this is like, this is technically his biggest film at the time, as it would be, because it would be his newest film. But like, out of all the other films, do you ever see any explosions in any of the other three films? Like, there's not. It's just basically fucking. I mean, Memento is him moping around.
He does bust a nut in Memento, I believe.
He does bust a nut, yeah. The last one, Batman Begins, is for morons.
Agree to disagree, I suppose. I wouldn't say I'm a moron, but then again, I suppose some people would, and I love Batman.
I just love it. Like,
It's mega cheeky.
it is cheeky. This came out like maybe days after the film came out as well. This review.
So
That was
he
a
was,
lot of effort.
So he was wrong.
Wait.
Actually, I'll tell you how long.
Hold on.
No, saying
So
that, it came out a day before the film was officially premiered.
So
like, not
he
like
or
not the,
she is a moron because they went to see Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Dickhead.
If
and
you went to go and see the film, then you were a moron.
yes, and I think with that, we can safely say goodbye for this week, and stay tuned for next week where we'll do something a bit more colourful, literally, and then we'll do the Dark Knight.
Oh yeah. I was just trying to remember what we were doing next
yes,
week.
and it's a very good film,
Very colourful film.
very colourful film.
Many
Yeah.
squares.
Many squares. Many squares, yeah. No, thanks for listening to the Conversationist podcast. I've been Charlie Pitson, and I've had Josh and Anson with me again this week. Follow us on Twitter, TCI_podcast, on Facebook and Instagram, the Conversationist podcast. Go check out all the other things. You mean, what else you got to do? You're stuck in quarantine.
Exactly.
Listen to us speak for like 40 hours. Who doesn't want to do that?
I
don't know.
It's the perfect thing to do
thing
when
to
you're
do when
in
you're-
self-isolation. You know, you can't leave the house, so what else are you going to do?
The only other thing I can think people might want to do is they might want to go on their phones or laptops and have a look at paypal.com and just send me some money at ansonw198@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Just to be clear, that's ANSONW, the letter, not two U's, 198@gmail.com. I'm Paul.
So two U's, not.
Do you see it?
No.
U's.
It's a W, not two U's.
So two U's.
No, a W.
Double U.
A
So
double
two
U.
U's.
No.
Like W.
A W, like the letter W, but I didn't want to, I hate the word double. The word letter, is it word?
W, I'm not heard of this W.
Fuck.
Double U?
Is this German?
Double U, as in two U's. Anson Williams.
Double W is words. Wait, hold up. W is words. That's not a fucking letter.
W.
Done.
You're welcome.
Done. Just like this episode. We're finishing this episode, but it's just the beginning.
Ooh, see you later.
See you later.